Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. As always, I'm looking forward to spending a little bit of crafty time with you. How are you keeping? I hope you're keeping okay. If not, do you know what? We're going to send you a big group hug and come on in. Let's have a bit of quality time together. Now, I love this new collection of stamps, the Forest Realm collection. And you know me, I have to practice saying that because I'm liable to call it anything under the sun. Now, I know some of you haven't been able to purchase them yet. That's fair enough. You know, we only have a certain amount of pennies to spend on our craft items, don't we? And I know sometimes they can take a while to fly over to you, depending where you live. But what I thought is I'd come in with a little bit of inspiration so that when you get your stamps, whenever that is, this will give you an idea what to do with them. And I know I've been a bit naughty because I'm going Christmas, and I know it's a bit early, but you know what? I'm learning, and it's never too early to make a Christmas card. But as soon as I saw this stamp, I was like, yeah, that's the one. Batch Christmas cards that look effective, but I think you could batch card make and get quite a few created. And you can always add more to this. I mean, you could add liquid pearls, you could add more glitter. We've got our lovely sentiments. We've also got the Christmas sentiment stickers. I've left that area clear because often I wait and see who I'm going to send the card to as to what sentiment I put on it. As always, I've decorated my envelope, look, bottom left hand corner, just because when I put my stamp here and the address, I think that makes it looks nice, and also permanent products only on there. Now, the stamp I'm going to use is called the River Root Corner. Or is it Tangled Root Corner? Hang on, I've got two names in my head and I'm just going to look. Right, it's called the Tangled River Root Corner. So I was doing a bit of a mixture there. And it's a large stamp, and I'm going to bring it in to show you. Look, so it's a large stamp, but there is also a smaller one called the River Root Corner Small, and that is this size. So again, depending, if you wanted to have a smaller corner, you could pop this in all four. But what I loved was these dots, circles, baubles, whatever you want them to be, it just shouted Christmas out to me. So in case I've confused you, this large stamp, I'll just mention it again and I'll talk a bit slower because I know I get a bit excited. And it's called the Tangled River Root Corner. Right. And I'm going to start with a piece of card. And I honestly have a stash of these. I buy the multifarious A4 and I cut myself a lot of these, and it's 5.5 inches square. And that's purely because I like a 6x6 card blank. Just for me, I think it's a really good size to work on. Now I'm going to stamp my large corner first. And I know there are those of you that have messaged me and said, look, Jo, I can build this up. I can use smaller stamps. That's great. And by all means do it. I love, you know me, I love our pound, our mini stamps. But sometimes I think you actually need a larger stamp. And I'm thinking Christmas, I'm not going to have the time to build the corners up. So I want some speed with my stamping, especially to batch card make. But as always, ladies and gents, you know, we're here just to provide some inspiration, come in for a crafty hug, and the choice is always up to you. You know, at the end of the day, you craft how you like. I always say I just come in with ideas for recipes, a bit like cooking, and you can mould it to your own way. If you want to add a bit of salt, a bit of something else, you know, you do it. Now, I know you're going to say, Jo, we can't add salt to our crafting, but you can. Remember the ink and then the rock salt? See, I was careful what I chose there. Now, what I must just say is, please don't judge me on my acrylic block, because I have got an acrylic block smaller than this, but large enough for this stamp. And you know what? Can I find it? Can I? Nothing. Those little craft pixies, the ones that hide things, you know, talking of pound stamps, they hide a lot of my pound stamps. I've got so many pippins roaming around this house somewhere. Anyway, so my acrylic block has just hidden itself and being see-through. Obviously I can't find it. So we've gone for the very large one, the one I usually use with my gel press. Now I'm going to ink up. I'm just using the black in the VersaFine Clair, and I want to make sure the stamp comes right up to the edge. So I'm not worried if I miss a little bit of the stamping. I just don't want a white border. I know if I got one I could trim my card. So, you know, when you're batch card making, it doesn't matter if you miss, you know, a little bit. Just trim it down. I get that. As you know, with big stamps, I struggle. I have arthritis in my hand, and this, especially this side, is getting a lot worse. I'm due my next injection. So for me, I have to let the stamp sit on the card, especially a large one. Now, if you're one of these really clever crafters who can just ink up, pop it down, and it stamps, oh, do you know, I'm so envious of you. You're so lucky. Me, I have to just leave it. But that's just the way that I have to work. Now, there we go. And as I say, I wanted to just take the stamping right to the edge. So I'm going to turn it round just to do the opposite corner. And you can see where I've just got that black line at the edge. And again, if you are batch card making, what I find is once you've almost got your eye to where you want the stamp to be, it's easier to repeat it again and again. I call it the craft eye. You have to get your craft eye in. So let's hope I've got my craft eye in for this one, we shall see. Right, let's have a look now. What do you think? I know you shout at me. I'm thinking about there. And again, me being me, I just want to give it a bit of a press. Give it a couple of seconds just to let that lovely ink soak in. You know, I've got one corner stamped beautifully. I don't want to rush this and it just be my own fault for not letting that ink soak into the card. You know, you can talk amongst yourselves. Hope you've got a nice brew while you're watching. Got myself a glass of water here. I'm trying to be good, but honestly, it's not lasting. You know me, I love my coffee too much. Now, what was I saying about a craft eye? So as you can see, I've missed a bit here. I could pretend I've done that on purpose. Now, there's two things we can do. I could trim my card down, or what I can do is just ink up that edge again and just come in and just catch this bit here. You could draw it on with your black fine liner and follow the pattern, but I'm thinking that might take me a while, and again, like I say, I'm trying to think of something that we could do speedy. So there we go. I've just stamped that there, and I think nobody will notice that. If they do, I will just trim it. So I'm going to keep that at the base, and I'm going to come in with my lovely Christmas tree, Christmas Joy. And again, I'm going to use the black. Now, I do think this would look nice in brown. I was torn. I love pine cone. I may have to have another go. But again, often with batch card making, that's what I do, you know. I change the colour up so that not everybody gets exactly the same design. So it might be the same design, but I just mix the colour up a bit. And let's pop that just in the middle there. And I think, you know, for me, if I batch card make, and I love this, three or four of these differently, different colours, maybe different embellishments, maybe adding a bow. You know, there is so, with our craft yarn, there are so many things we can do. I reckon if I just spent a couple of afternoons, and especially if Mr. Mojo's gone on holiday, you could, a couple of afternoons stamping up, I and you could have some Christmas cards started. And I just think, how good would that feel now? You'd almost feel like you were ahead. And that's a good feeling, isn't it? I tend to feel playing catch up all the time. Now I've just given that a blot with the VersaFine Clay being a slower drying ink. And again, I'm thinking speed. So to add the colour, we're going to come in with the elements. And I'm just using a dye-based ink because for me, they blend easier. This is Mermaid, and I'm using my number 7 brush. And I'm going to start in the corner. And every time I ink up, I'm going to start in that corner because I want that a deeper colour. I almost want a bit of an ombre. So what I find is if you always start in the corner, and then when you've got less ink on your brush, go towards the edge, look. So again, we'll ink up, start in the corner, plenty of colour in there. And then when there's less ink, and I just want to almost blend that lovely shape there. And it's up to you how much colour you add. I mean, you can mix your colours. And again, I think if you know, say your neighbours were having purple this year as their colour, why not use violet chalk? Again, it would be lovely to make this to match the colour theme that the Christmas tree, the house, the decorations are in. So same thing again, this corner, ink up and slowly work my way. And then when I've got less ink, just doing that beautiful shape. I think we just need one more. And I'm just following and letting the brush do the work. Again, I'm not pressing hard. It's a nice gentle tickle. And I think that looks fabulous already. And what I'll do with the ink, I'm not going to ink up again, but with the ink that's on my brush, look, I'm just going to follow the shape of the tree. Lovely. Just to take almost the whiteness away. Now, we'll just give this a spritz. And if you've got spare card, you could do some smooshing in there. But I'm just going to come in with my Inky Binky just to add a bit more ink to him. But I just want to mop it up. But like I say, you could smoosh a background and then stamp another tree on that and you'd have another Christmas card made. Now, just to ground the tree, I'm going to come in with one of my mini hill masks. And I'm going to use dark denim. It's my colour I use for shadow. But I'm my number 3 brush. I may actually have some on the brush already. So what I'll do is I'll just see. I'm not going to ink it up yet. I'll just see, because if I've got some on my brush, I can use that, you see. And there may just be enough, which I think there is. Yeah, so I don't need to ink up. And for me, that's 2 things. One, it uses the ink up that's on my brush. And my actual ink will last longer. So again, you know, if you've got, don't always ink up. Have a look first and see if you need to. Right, I'm just wiping my ink pad there. When I spritz my mat, I've got some on my ink pad. So don't want to get that everywhere. Right, let's add some colour to these beautiful baubles. Now I'm going to come in with my Signo pens, and these are the metallic ones. They're the Uniball ones, and I've gone for the colours green, blue, and I think it's violet. It says it on the lids, yes, violet. Just because I thought they would go with the colours that we've used. But again, you know, there's golds, there's silvers, beautiful red. But as I say, the liquid pearls would look lovely on here. You can just use, and for me, the hardest bit here is being random. And again, I'm going to speedily just add some colour here, but you can just take your time and enjoy the process, enjoy colouring in. So which colour haven't I used? I think the violet. And this is a bit where I know you shout at me saying, Jo, you've missed one. But don't worry, if I have, I will come in and add them later. I think I just need a bit more green on that one there. Oh, there is one there, so thank you. I know I missed colouring a flower the other week, and Diane commented and said, oh, I noticed you. And I went back and I thought, you know, she's right, I have. And often that's the way, isn't it? Have you ever gone to writing cards, you know, when you've made batch Christmas cards, and it's only at the stage when you're actually writing them and you think, oh, I missed that. But to me, it makes it unique, makes it handcrafted. Now, I just want to add a little bit of bling. So I'm going to come in with my Wink of Stella brush. And I'm thinking, I'm just going to add a little bit. And this is the silver. So now we've got clear, gold and silver. Again, so many possibilities. And I'm just going to follow in here and add a little bit on the tree. Not too much. And I'm going to pick out some odd little baubles. And again, this is where it messes with my head, because I would say the word random, and oh, I find it so difficult doing random. But then if you asked me to do anything precise and count, I'd be like, right, is it to make it even? It is funny. But I'm just going to, now you could colour them all if you wanted. Again, it depends how much time you've got. But for me, like I say, I could colour them all on one, colour less on another. But also, I just wouldn't want them all to look the same. And when that, remember, when your Wink of Stella dries, you get even more sparkle. So I don't know if you can pick that up. Maybe if I show you the original one, because that should be dry. Yes, I think the sparkle picks up better on there, doesn't it? And what's lovely, although I've used the silver, it's got a silvery hue, but it doesn't take anything away from that lovely greeny blue colour. So last little thing, I'm going to add some Posca Splats. With it being Christmas here, I love white Posca Splats. Now I know obviously not everybody has snow at Christmas, so you could leave this as it is now if you wanted. For me, I'm just going to shape my Posca pen, and again, don't worry about what size nib. The larger nib, you just tend to get larger splats. This is the 1M. But for splats, sometimes I use a 1M, sometimes I use a 5. It really depends which one is near and which one's behaving on the day. So a quick shake, and I'm just directing it, look. I love it over that green, and we'll have some over the tree. And I always do this last because I'm going to let this dry. Just at the top there. Now again, remember we've got our lovely pound star. You could add a star at the top. So many possibilities, you know. But I think if you're going to make some Christmas cards in the next few months, for me, well, I'm certainly going to make a few of these. Right, I'm going to give that a dry. And that's the one we've just created. And that's the one, again, just popped on a white 6x6 card blank. So I'm hoping you've enjoyed that. I hope it gives you a little bit of inspiration. And as always, when you get these lovely new stamps, or if you create something similar, I love it when you tag me in. And I love it when you share. We have our 2 fabulous Lavinia groups, you know, and we all love to share and give each other inspiration, because we are such a happy, loving, crafting family on here. So you take care. Love and hugs from me. Guess what? See you again tomorrow. Bye for now.